Okay, understand. I stopped complaining.
I'm telling you, I already past 12, so we're going live. Or as a certain former TV personality said, "We'll do it live. We'll do it live." Oh,
Who?
Oh no, I just see one camera on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I like the window cam, by the way.
I do. I just wonder because it doesn't work obviously this time again. Even Don has set up both cams before starting the meeting, actually. That's strange.
it
Oh,
says
the
it's
chat
working.
appeared.
But I don't see it either.
But they can see Sugar preening, I think, and Cecil playing with the toys.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Is the camera inside because of the wind, or is it the bamboozle figure?
Yeah, it's inside because the wind is. I'd have to chain it down with a boulder. We have a little wind right now, which means that the big gust like the last one we got. What are you doing? So can you see my small? You can only see the window cam. Is that what you're telling me?
At the moment, yes. On
Okay,
YouTube.
let me see. I might be able to fix that. I can't mess with the other cam, but I can mess with my own. If I mess with it, I turn it off or something. The one inside, it won't come back on. So I take the spotlight off myself and put the spotlight back on. Anything yet?
It's a
well,
little
it
bit
hasn't.
delayed on YouTube, so we cannot see your instant changes on YouTube.
Yeah, it hasn't caught up yet.
Now it's your phone cam on YouTube.
I'd like to meet these coders so I could just hit them with a wet noodle for about a half an hour.
Yeah,
I can
seriously.
try moving spotlight and putting spotlight back on that one.
Well, Michelle Thompson has joined us, so we have a viewer. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Can you say hello down there?
Oh,
Bird.
oh, he looks like he's enjoying that.
Yeah, good boy. Yeah, you had Cecil help you this morning. Preen you, that made you feel better, didn't it? Yesterday,
Oh, that's nice.
he made it about an hour and a half. Then I had to take him in because he kept getting riled up with the other birds. Didn't hurt anybody or anything, but he just kept acting like he was going to. Are you okay down there, big boy? How many cams do we have? Still just one?
At the moment, I see Sugar with 1 feet up training. Yeah, just one.
These people. If they could just learn the code.
Need actually 3 cams to make it work. I think the last time when it hasn't worked, it was also 2 cams outside the iPad and your cam, and when we were inside the socialization room with 3 cams, it worked somehow.
Well, that's not as easy to do because I have to find a way to move that webcam around. It's
oh yeah, it was not a suggestion to do it now. It was more like observation.
No, if that's what it's going to take, I'll do it.
But it's really funny to see what happens on the Cockatoo Highway. Cecil annoying Morgan with a toy and Pippa running around.
Yeah, Cecil scaring the auntie as well. Well, you can just swap back and forth between the cameras every so often.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
What I'm doing now is just turning the spotlight off on both and then waiting a little bit and then trying to turn them on one and wait a little while and turn on the other.
Because as long as we can see something, we're happy. So it's not that big a deal.
But you should do a spotlight because it looks like now it's showing also our names on pics on YouTube, and no one wants to see that. Like
Well,
next
yeah,
screen with Amy is speaking.
to deal with bad coding, you want to leave a little bit of time between turning off and turning on. So
Yep. Oh, Moluccan aunties.
I never know which camera you're seeing, but
I see the Zoom cam. and the other cam, I see a Moluccan auntie back and someone preening. Oh,
Hey,
and someone
Falcon
climbs
Sue.
by. Snowball, or is that Pip? Cecil? Snowball? I have no idea. It's a white bird.
if you're talking about the one from the window, that's Snowball.
It's not Snowball. Yeah, then we see him at the moment.
That's all you see is I hate bad coding. And these people get paid mega bucks,
They should hire you and pay you megabucks.
Well, I used to be pretty good at coding, but that was years ago. Let's see. I'm gonna have to turn off that second one because.
Well, then that's just
The thing is,
what happens.
I spend 20 minutes setting it up and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I know that's upsetting.
The Google gods, or I should say, if they're the Google gods, they're probably like the god Uranus. Look up what happened to him. I'm not going to say it on the web.
Oh yeah, now it has turned on your phone cam. So
yeah, because I turned the other one off. That's why I said.
Okay, excellent. Sorry guys, no multicam today. It's a bit complicated as we have not found the reason yet why it's not working when we are outside.
I think it's Google demons.
Yeah, they really are terrible at coding. There's no question about it. And designing their overall design of things is terrible. Not as bad as Facebook though. That Meta app they have, that thing is the worst I've ever seen. You have somebody who sends you a message.
Facebook is also the pure evil, therefore.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What are you doing trying to eat my shoe? You can't eat my shoe. Pippa, you can't eat my shoe.
Triton trouble.
Baby.
She's seen all the others doing it and now she wants to get involved.
She started the trouble today, getting out of her cage and flying across the room.
Let's tell everyone the Pip story. Pip flew out of her cage today.
Oh my.
Where
did she go? Did she go to Steve?
No, Jasper's cage.
It was fun taking her off there. She was flapping all over the place. You were just being a big pest, weren't you? Weren't you, little girl? That's my shoe. You don't need to chew on it. No. Cecil. No.
Cecil. Big pile of toys right there.
Pippa, it's not your fault. Someone needs to be the Triton in the room.
It's all right, KK.
So exactly, we have two lovely chatters here at the moment, Michelle Thompson and Falcon Sue. Hello and welcome. Good to see you guys. Sorry for the confusion at the first couple of minutes. Yeah, we had trouble with the technique.
They're probably using Go ahead.
Oh, she just said that with the 3 camera views on her laptop, the picture is kind of small anyway, so she doesn't mind the single shot with the chat up. Mixing it up.
Okay. Yeah, that's I can switch between cameras. Apparently I can do that, but they're probably on Windows computers. That's probably why it's so bad. Windows, maybe they had an update.
Yeah, today is actually the 11th of the month, so the window update is already waving since this morning.
That's usually a corporate rollout. And what they do is they have whoever's in charge of IT, the system admin will check it out on a few test computers to make sure it's working. I don't think Google has the brains to do this, but test it out on a few computers. When everything looks like it's working okay, then they spawn them to all the other computers, and they do that. It might do half the computers at one time and half the computers at another, depending on what has to be online all the time, that kind of thing. But if they roll it out too soon, they end up with problems like this. Especially with Windows. I'd wait a month before I rolled something out if they released. But you think so? You do? No, he agrees with me. Good boy. Yes, take care. I don't think he cared for being taken out early yesterday. But he wouldn't listen to me. I had to hit him with a stick. Just kidding. This thing right here doesn't do anything. Barely can feel it. It's a toy. And if I just kind of whack him a little bit with it, if he's going after another bird, he'll back off. I mean, just gently touch him with it. He's like, I don't want to be touched with that. Yuck. But I had to use it on you 3 times yesterday. I said, you're going in if I have to do it again. He's just getting a little too protective of me, but he's been through a lot, this poor boy. Mean old man hit you with the toy. He just thought, what is that toy coming at me for? That is in ABA. It's the last thing we use, called positive punishment, when you add something to reduce or extinguish the behavior. And if he's going after another bird and they're scared to death, Jasmine in this case, to do something. He calmed down for a little bit and then he went right back to being aggressive. You can see he's kind of attached to me. I can't do much about that. Can I? Touch your head. Let you chew on my finger. Yeah. Big silly bird. And Cecil's not quite there yet, but he's about ready to beat me in the head. Aren't you? Aren't you?
Yup. With his peanut butter lid, right?
Yep. Do go through a bit of peanut butter. About a half a cup a day. So
Oh, wow.
well, it gets some on a stick with the ones that get it with their medicine, and then they get a little bit of a peanut butter put on top of their birdie bread. And when you add into that too the cookies they get now, which is made with peanut butter, they go through quite a bit of it. Fortunately, Costco sells it pretty cheap. Don't
Heck
they?
yeah. And it's nice and nutritious in moderation, like you said.
Yeah, it is. It's a good balance of fat and protein. You don't want to give them too much protein at one time, but it's fat, but balance is good for them. So. Right, Cecil? He's funny to give peanut butter to, though. Because he'll sit there and just look at you like he when I first saw him, when he was like no facial expression at all. And he expects me, I trained him he had 3 seconds to take it. So I'd count down 3, 2, 1, and then I'd take it away. Now he makes me do the countdown. He won't take it until I've done the countdown. So who's training whom? Here's the question.
That's so cute.
He's a nut. He is a nut. There you go.
GTH042 joined us in chat and says he makes lots of peanut butter lids. I'm not sure if this is an offer. That's Cecil. Cecil says, yeah, send them over. Whack.
That seems to be his favorite thing. He's got one of his ball toys down there, but he's decided beating me up with Liz is more fun for some reason right now. He'll go back to his ball toys soon, I'm sure. Hey,
PTA says, I hear KK has given up the bucket and claimed the whole aviary.
More or less, he's trying to claim my lap right now.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, it's adorable.
Neither one of them have played with either Cecil or KK. Have played too much with buckets. Cecil played a couple of times, but he's more into hitting me in the head. And KK is more into sitting on my lap. Aren't you? He does play after a while, though. He'll get up and try it. Right now, I think I really have him on my lap after yesterday, so he just needs to stay calm. Don't you? Don't you? You need your beak work done again. Less than a week, and it's already gone.
Such a good boy.
The sitter got caught this morning playing with a toy.
Oh,
She's been going through a lot of wood lately and tearing up her toys. So. But usually I break out as soon as she sees I'm pointing the camera at her. That's it. She stops. So this morning she looked at me and she goes, "I'm going to keep playing." Yeah.
Aw.
Hey, Doug. I know that look. Is he talking to me because he's trying to pet my beak? Probably not. He looked away. I wasn't sure whether we were going to be out here today because the air quality wasn't that great. And then I looked at what it is, and it's not the tiny particles, the 2.5 or less. It's the larger ones, which is grass and weeds and stuff like that. That's not going to affect them. It's those ultra small particles you got to watch out for.
Oh, I guess I never even thought of that before, that the particle size could have like an effect. I don't know why.
Well, because most people don't know anything about air quality. It's just when you have birds and they're outside, you have to learn about it. The smaller particulates, the less than 2.5 micrometer, they stay in your lung. They just get lodged in there. So you don't want to take birds out when they have that high. But with these guys, they don't have allergic reactions to weeds or anything like that. So
That makes
some
sense.
kinds of dust, because it can be really fine, less than 2.5. That's where you got to watch it, because that'll get in their system and like hang on the walls of their the breathway. Once that starts to happen, then you can have real trouble. So.
Right, they already has some sensitive air sacs and everything. Can't damage those.
Yeah, so that's what you have to watch for. If you got a lot of large particulate, it'll just go in and out. But and there's an app I use called Air Visual. That's what I use for it. You don't have to pay for it. They would love you to, but you don't have to. And there's 3 stations and one close to here at an elementary school, so I can get the actual particulate count off of that.
Wow.
It has it's like the idiot lights in your vehicle. They come on. They used to have those. Yeah, you'd see it would say like oil. Well, that means that the oil pressure in your vehicle is less than 4 pounds. When that light comes on, any idiot who doesn't pull over is going to lose his engine, right? So it's kind of like that. They have the idiot one that'll say at 71, so anything over 50 is dangerous. Anything over 100 is, do not go outside, that kind of thing. So, but then you can click on that and it goes into the specifics where the particle counts are. And that's what I look at. I used to have these things are not cheap, but I used to have one I could bring outside, but it died. Had an internal fan, and the internal fan went crazy. So, but there's the other thing's only 2 blocks away from here, 3 blocks, where they have the station that checks the particulates.
Yeah, that's a thing to have.
Yeah, it'd be
Especially
nice to have something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just say it's just a good thing to have with all the birds that you have in the rotation, with being able to have them out in that big beautiful aviary, like just knowing exactly what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I have it shown on my watch, but that's not as accurate as Air Visual. So, and the reason, if you I don't know if you can see it, but you can barely see the mountains. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the pollen and bits and pieces of plant and stuff in the air is what you're seeing.
Wow. Yeah, the sky's usually a bit brighter, a bit of a brighter blue when it's nice and clear.
Yeah, it's that color when it's nice and clear, but now you see the difference in color.
Mm-hmm.
Now, anybody who was afraid of that would look and go, "Oh, that doesn't look like I should go outside." But if you know that the particles are large, you can. Although, when I was talking to the local vet, you can catch people in things that they haven't thought of, right? And he was saying, well, they don't show any signs of allergy. And I said, so do we have a test? Which I knew the answer to this. Or do we have a test to tell if they have allergies? Oh, no. Then how do you know they don't have an allergic reaction? So there's no test. You really can't say that, right?
Right, like, oh, it's hormones. My parrot's hormones are out of control.
Mm-hmm. What it really comes down to is that birds that are around a bunch of grass or tree or anything like that, they don't react. It doesn't seem to, we're just looking at their reactions. They don't seem to have any breathing problems to go along. But if they are caught in a place like where there's a fire, and in a fire you're going to have a huge amount, 300s, 400s of 2.5, they die. So,
oh, gosh. Yeah, that's scary.
That is.
We up in the Northeast had really, really horrible air quality for, I don't know, more this summer than I remember, really ever, maybe, just from the Canadian wildfires. Just the way the wind was blowing. But yeah, definitely noticed that.
They've been bad in the Northwest too. I know people up there have talked about how bad the fires have been. So
yeah. Yeah, it's scary when the sky turns orange and it's, like the afternoon. Unsettling.
I had a lot of that when we were living in Fallbrook. A lot of fires in that area, San Diego area, out in there. Anywhere outside of the city
I think I remember. Oh, sorry, Don. April with Parrot Playhouse doing like evacuation videos, just to kind of reiterate how important it is to have an evacuation plan with your birds and living in those areas out west.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, so you always have to have some kind of evacuation plan. But when you're living in the fire area, because the plants have adapted, they've adapted to the nature of the environment, so they burn quickly, and they do that for a reason. The top of the plant burns out, but the roots stay in there, and it just grows back.
Oh,
yeah, it's
because I know that's a form of like it fertilizes the land, the slash and burn. Not always a good thing, but
well, for example, these weeds are an example of chaparral because I cut them all the way to the ground, and they're back. And
wow.
And that was so I'm not doing that anymore. But I'm leaving them kind of like grass. I just go around with a manual chopper and chop off. When they get too tall, I chop them down a little bit. Keep the root systems. The root's going to stay there anyway. But this way, the root systems get a little bigger, and when it rains, it's not going to be quite so bad. It won't be like Iron Man.
Right.
What are you doing? Oh, you're making that a two-toy situation, are you? He's using the rope as another toy. So he's cutting the rope.
Making
and
the
playing.
game even more interesting.
Yeah, one's just too boring, isn't it? You gotta have two, even if it's my face. Nice, sweetheart. What are you doing? What are you doing? Showing on my finger. Okay.
What a cutie.
All right. All right. Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yes, he is. How has Bob been doing?
Pretty good. He'll be out here later. I would have brought him out
Nice.
now, but I wasn't sure how if KK was a little what's the word for it? He got a little bit crazy today. I didn't want to have two birds in here that could go at each other. So,
Yeah, true.
but he's doing better.
I'm glad to
What are you
hear that because he definitely he's a wild one, but he's a sweet little guy, and I like seeing him out with his flock.
Yeah, he'll be out later. I'll take him out when I can be in a situation where I don't have to be holding a phone. But
Right. Always good. Always good.
it's still a little spooky with him in here. He doesn't tend to get up on the ropes, and I discourage that. So I should be able to get KK in if I need to, and then if I'm gone for a minute, it won't be the end of the world.
Yeah. Yep. Having a plan.
Jasmine, what are you doing over there? He says, staying away from KK. He wasn't nice to me yesterday.
Aw. That's that's the pink road right there. Running lengthwise.
Mm. But I guess no Mando today.
No, he didn't even want to come out for breakfast this morning.
Oh, Mando.
Usually he will, but he wasn't this morning. He wasn't, but he's really. I don't want to come out. I'm not going to. He'll run to the bottom and get as far away from me as he can. So, but he didn't do that today. He just looks at me like, I don't feel like it. You can bring me my food in here. I'll have breakfast in bed, please.
Sounds a bit like Mando.
It's funny. It really doesn't take long before they start running your life completely. It didn't take long for me.
No, it doesn't really.
Not if you're doing it right.
Yeah, you don't want to do it wrong. That's for sure.
You're like, oh, my parrot needs nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, you make one little mistake, and then it's like, oh well, he's still doing that. Oh no, he's doing it more. And then by the time you realize that you can't take it, it's too late. That's what happens to most people.
You're bankrupt. You've taken out of the pot too many times and you haven't put enough in. Mostly because I think, like you're saying, like people don't know how to put money into the quote unquote relationship bank account. You want to have good interactions, permission-based interactions. The more often you can allow the bird to do the thing or teach the bird to do the thing you want versus forcing them, the more or the better your bank account will be. So yeah, be mindful of all that stuff.
Well, you have learned something from Dr. Zelig, haven't you?
Oh yeah. We'll have to talk more about her specifically sometime too.
That bank account thing, she's right about that, boy.
I take that to heart. And that every interaction with your bird is a training experience, or an opportunity, I should say. Always a chance to reinforce something.
You give them good experiences, and then when the time comes and you have to do something like yesterday, it doesn't turn them totally against you when you stop them from something.
Right.
But you draw something out of the bank account. So I'm putting it back in by letting him sit on my lap, feet on my hand right now.
Yep.
But
Because parrots are not like dogs. They're not servile. They're not here to please. They're not, they don't ingratiate themselves. It's pretty much with parrots, you need to earn their respect and then maintain it via companionship.
yeah, it's a hard thing to teach people because they're so used to the idea that there's somebody in charge. When you work in a Western society, you're always working for someone. So you're either forced to like work in a warehouse to move stuff around, or you sit at a desk, and you're used to having that person who's over you and then another person over them. And it's just not that way with birds. Right? They don't see things that way at all.
It's kind of amazing to think about how big you think about just some of the flocks you see in like nature documentaries, thousands and thousands of birds flying together in the air, and they somehow don't run into each other. They're not knocking each other down, fighting for the lead spot. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they'd almost have to redesign our DNA to get us out of that. It's just, although it's not absolutely required of humans, it's not like you have to be like that. I know that some of the so-called primitive societies, I don't like that word primitive, but the ones that don't have all this technology and they aren't, growing their own food and they're just hunter-gatherers, they don't need that kind of hierarchy. And some do have it, quite a few, but some don't have any at all. There's no hierarchy, nobody in charge, and it works just fine. The idea,
yeah, those are the ones
someone,
we need to study those.
Yeah, probably the best book on that is The Forest People by Colin Turnbull. I mean, there's others, but that is probably the best one because he spent 2 years living with the pygmies, and they do not have. There is no chief. There's nobody in charge. They do respect the older people for more information, but nobody makes the decisions. They just kind of come together and, we're leaving. We're going to move to another place today. Not enough animals, and they go.
Pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm. And the kids get trained out of it right in the beginning. Any child, young child that grabs for something like this is mine, the rest of the kids walk away from them. So they learn quickly that nothing is yours, and you don't have to have something. As long as your belly's full and you're happy and you can look at the sunshine and you can run around and be free, that's all you need to do. And they could teach us a lot.
Right. And that's really socially reinforcing too, which is to say, like we don't want to hang out with you if you want to like have all the things. It's much cooler to just share and be easygoing about that. So
yeah, it was an amazing book to read. And then there's another one that when he went back there, he couldn't get grants to study the pygmies anymore. So he had to study this one group that they were hunter-gatherers, and the Kenyan government was forced them to try to be agriculturalists. That did not work out well at all. After less than 10 years, the word for happiness became the same word as full stomach. So
wow.
he managed to live through that experience. Nobody actually physically tried to kill him, but there were a couple of instances where they were just kind of laughing because they are running up this hill because he wanted to meet the people of that group that were living in the mountains, and they're running, and he turns this corner, and he runs around the corner, and it's a dead drop, and he almost went over, and they're standing there laughing. That's how much they disliked life in general. And at the end of that book, at the end of that one, he says, "This is what Western society is becoming, and unless we do something, it's all going to end." He saw the parallels in our Western world of what was happening to this people. Their name was I'm not sure I can do this. It's a E sound followed by a click. What was the name of them? But trying to think some of the stories I can tell you from that one. Some of them are so horrific, I can't possibly tell. You have to read the book. I mean, it's a good set of books to read. You read one, the best in humanity and the worst.
Yeah. The double-edged sword of all our intelligence and greatness.
What they did to their babies if they made too much noise is pretty horrific. But there was a blind guy who was. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that at first I was like, oof, but I guess in a life and death situation, I'm sure things can get a little sketchy.
Yeah, there. I mean, some of the words, like their greeting when they talk to each other, was, I can still remember that. It was Brinji Lotop, and that means give me tobacco. That's their official greeting, what they say to each other when, you know, they greet somebody, they say, give me tobacco. They usually don't talk much to each other, but when someone from outside comes through, they try to milk that for everything they can, and the first thing they say to them is, give me tobacco. One thing they did, this is it's kind of a funny story, but he'd been there for a few weeks and just already horrified by what he was seeing, but he wanted to be able to view the whole encampment where they lived, and they didn't move around. You know, they had that taken away from them. The government wouldn't allow them to move. So he found the spot, the highest point he could, and he asked if they would build him a hut there, and a bunch of them all volunteered and went up there. In fact, one guy had a heart attack while he was building this hut for him and died. But and he couldn't figure out why they were why they would be so interested in doing something like this, because he'd already knew that they were totally self-serving. They had no interest in helping anyone of their own kind or anyone else. And he understood the next morning that was what they call their D on the top of that hill. That's where they went to go to the bathroom in the morning. So they found it incredibly funny that he wanted his place to be built there, so they did it. Right, like having your house built in a latrine.
It's the honor of the highest esteem.
Yeah, they just anytime they could screw over somebody. There was that blind guy who was dying, and just on the ground dying, and these kids came up and they stole everything off of him. They took glass pieces of clothing, whatever was in his pockets, and he was laughing the whole time. And so he had learned their language and everything by then. So he asked this dying blind man why he was laughing. He said, because that is the way of the world. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, we have a question by Eliza. She wants to know if umbrella cockatoo is really flock. She has read they only have a few friends and family they stay with.
That's not true. I don't know where you read that, but they still have flocks. They're one of the few outside of Australia that do. There are no more full flocks of Moluccans or lesser sulfurs in Indonesia. They're gone. Yeah, they have big flocks. In fact, I met somebody who I've told this story before, but who was he took his family to Indonesia, and I heard he's still married. But they wanted to just go into the forest in a little hut and spend the night. So they did, and of course it rains all the time there. So it's raining and thunder and all this. The next morning they hear the rain, but they couldn't hear it on the hut they had. They didn't hear it beating on the hut. They, good grief, it's raining hard, but I don't hear any of the rain hitting the hut. So they opened the door, and like 1,000 umbrella cockatoos all screaming good morning. And it sounded like rain to them, you know.
Oh, I'd love to see and hear that.
No, they're big flock animals because they can't protect themselves. The only way their protection is in numbers. Their loud voices scare away a lot of the predators, but also at the same time, the ability to fly in different directions, like take off in multiple directions, totally confuses predators. So the less there are, the less secure they are. Yeah, they don't do well outside of flocks. I'm not sure where you read that, but it's not in any of the scientific works I have. They're big flock animals.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are also a lot of misconception and misinformation out there about cockatoos, for example. I think breeder are a main source for wrong information. They just put things out. They tell people what they want to hear to protect what they do.
Yeah.
Like telling, that's completely fine what I do here, which is not, but
That's a good point.
Yeah, you have to corroborate your information and try to get it from people who actually know. We're talking about biologists who study them in the wild, and not too many studying umbrella cockatoos, to be honest with you. Nobody wants to go to Indonesia where it rains 100% humidity and you can grow mushrooms under your arms, no problem. I mean, it's just not the kind of weather you want to face. But that's where the Indonesian Parrot Project is based, and
Oh yeah,
and
they're a
people
really,
live
really
there.
awesome group.
They are saving these guys in the wild.
No small feat.
No.
Oh, Shaggy looks so sweet, training.
Yeah, Dr. Metz founded that. He had a Saram cockatoo. They call them Moluccans here, but he had a Saram, and after a couple of months, he realized that these guys don't belong in cages, and that's when he founded that organization.
Mm.
And left his
Eliza
cushy
says,
job.
and now it justifies me rescuing another umbrella in order to play with a flock.
Yeah, just be careful. I mean, you have to learn a lot because if it's two, you're better off to have two of the same sex. Because if they start to mate or if they decide to bond, you're going to have a lot of problems. And then you'll have to keep them separated all the time. So they'll just have to look at each other.
Yeah.
And then if you got, males will sometimes get into arguments. So you have to know that you can thrust your hand between them and that your hand is less important than them.
Yep.
Hand, foot, whatever body part, whatever you have around to make sure. And you got to do it quickly. They don't normally hurt each other, but they're not normal in captivity. So
That's the things they weren't properly raised, and when they are in captivity, they don't have that space they usually need to, get along. In the wild, they just fly away when someone annoys each other, and then they are just like, and just.
That's a good point, Anna Maria. Everything becomes more complicated in captivity.
Yeah, they have no way to go. So when I watched the wild vlog around Jim the Birdman in Australia, they have sometimes little arguments, but usually it ends with one just flying off. So that's the way they solve conflicts, like going away and staying apart from each other. And if they cannot do that, I think that triggers then that really aggressive behavior they usually wouldn't exhibit.
Right. Not characteristic of the species.
The only time
they always seem pretty relaxed next to each other. They obviously have individuals they get more along with than others, but so
right. They're little favorites.
The only dangerous situation that they've seen in the wild is when there aren't enough females and a male has a female, the female dies and the male's stuck alone. If that male tries to steal another female, then it can get nasty, but that's about the only time. And when I say nasty, they'll do what they'll do to protect you. They will attack the eyes of their opponent. So.
I think that's in a lot of bird species who are usually pretty, relaxed and peaceful. Like within penguins, usually they don't attack each other and are pretty nice to watch each other. But in some occasions, I've seen that also when it comes to like, I want your wife, or so when something like that is going on, then they can be pretty rough towards each other.
Yeah.
Or your
Or
nest
if you,
pretty.
well, with penguins, if you can't sing, then you better, dancing is not enough. You have to know the movie
I've never
Happy
heard
Feet.
that before. I
That's
like
from the movie.
that.
That's from the movie Happy Feet. There was the penguin. That's actually a good animation. It's not done by Pixar, but it's a good one. Why they chose to have the smartest and craziest ones to sound like they were from they sound like they were of Mexican descent. They're just wonderful. I mean, wonderful characters. But we got to go do this, but the penguins talking like that. But they're my favorite in the whole movie. But yeah, it's all about a one that can't sing a song, but he can dance. And cute movie. Can you dance? Can you dance? No,
I
can't.
think he can.
Can you dance?
We have a question about KK from TTH. Is KK modulating his bonking, or is it pretty much a fixed tempo?
It's pretty much a fixed tempo.
That sounds so wrong, modulating his bunking.
So he's not Morse coding to Steve or something like that.
No, it's not like Morse code. It's not a continuous wave, which is funny. CW, continuous wave, stands for Morse code, but there's nothing particularly continuous about the rhythm of it. What are you doing? You're such a good bird. Do you know you're a good bird?
Yeah, KK and Cecil are really good birds. When I entered today, the live stream, they were just cross-preening each other. So actually Cecil weren't too amused about that. Cecil was preening KK, and KK stuck his head under Cecil and preened at the same time back. And suddenly that didn't went so well, because suddenly Cecil scrimped a bit. But I think now they are pretty fine. KK.
Yeah, it's tough on this guy. I mean, it's been less than a week since I did his beak, and he's already got that lower section coming up again. So he doesn't mind me working on his beak. He can do that anytime. It's his nails he doesn't like. I'm going to put a collar on him now for that. Turn the opposite way. Usually with a collar on a bird, you turn it down, but you turn them up if you want to do their nails. I don't know what he's going to do when I do that.
Yeah, now I missed the Peaches drama queen collar when she got her nails done.
Yeah, that's the same collar he's going to be wearing.
It's the drama queen, KK.
Is he at the moment not petting Cecil?
Oh, Cecil's, he was over doing the bucket thing.
Oh, that's KK. Okay, sorry.
All right.
Sorry, KK. You look quite Cecilish today. To me.
Well, they're both handsome, both.
They are both super handsome.
How you doing, kid?
I like that these two are friends now.
You don't want up?
Actually, good friends.
Yeah, they are. They're getting along great.
I think Cecil works hard to form the boy connection between him, KK, Snowball, and Bobbly. And then they all four snack Don's car and drive to Vegas.
Yeah, they would certainly tear up a casino, that's for sure. Well, we have one here, but we actually have two casinos here. So never been in them. I haven't even gone in there for dinner, but have no interest in gambling, so.
Well, that's kind of the main thing of Vegas with all the shows and so, but I think as far as I speak for me, I probably would gamble a little bit in Vegas when I would be there, but
My idea of gambling is when you walk in, you go to the dollar machine or the $5 machine and you put in one and you walk away. And if you do win that one, it's going to be huge. But dropping, money into a machine, I mean, it's different if it was the poker table or something. But
as long as your astro chart doesn't tell you to go gambling at that exact day in that town, don't do it.
that would be an event chart, and you would draw it up to see what would be the best time to go gambling. Hi, KK.
I rather see them in one of these shows or at the restaurant bar and eating all the junk food, and then suddenly Sugar is telling him, "Bring me French fries."
There's a song by the Brothers Osborne called Pawn Shop, and I always thought that would be great if I could find a pawn shop that would let me put up some things for them to mess with, and then just do it to their song with the birds in there tearing everything up.
That would be cool.
Absolutely.
Bird.
Wait, is there a bird next to Sugar? Oh,
Pippa. Pip.
all right. Oh, now they do together wing stretching.
Stop, Pip. Hi, Pippa.
It's a pip. A real triton. Was Babaloo Bob out today already?
No, he's coming out later.
Mm.
His day, I have to alternate him, otherwise they only get a short amount of time. So Bob comes out today, Cause tomorrow, then Bob, then Cause. Until they can get over this, I mean, they even see each other, or see another bird, and they start getting aggressive and stuff. Well, you want to come down? You can if you want to. Well, come on. Oh, come on. Do you expect me to freeze in this position forever?
Mm.
All right, KK. It's all right. Hi, KK.
Hi, KK.
Yeah, that's the Pip.
Hi, KK.
What a chatterbox. Hi, KK. Is he a little bit nervous because Pippa came down?
He's saying hi to her, though. He's being pleasant.
Mm. Hi, KK. That's right.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah,
KK.
Pippa's a
That's
nice girl.
right. That's right. That's right.
That's right. KK.
Good
KK
bird.
bird. KK good bird.
KK, good
KK,
bird.
good
Yeah,
bird.
Oh, I heard that.
good bird. Good bird. KK. KK, good bird. Yeah, it's a KK boy. KK. KK bird. Little bird. KK. Yeah, but you don't need to keep sneaking over closer. That does not make the situation better.
He's a nervous boy, Pepper, and you're an intimidating girl.
Mm.
She inches up, inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter. Just gets a little closer until finally she has a, what are you doing so close to me? You came over here? Okay, good bird. Okay. Pip, pip. K, 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 K.
Okay.
K, K, good bird. K, K, K. K, 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 K. No, K, K. That's a Pippa. Yep. She's a Pip. Couple of preeners up there.
Yeah, they've been quietly preening away the whole time. Loving it.
Fun to come out, isn't it, KK? Yeah, everybody likes to come out. Okay, now you're getting a little I can tell you're getting a little riled up. It's all right. You get back over on the arm of the chair. Come on. There you go. All right. Who threw that at me? Oh, Lisa. He's tearing that toy apart and throwing them at me. That figures. What, Shug Shug? No, you can only see my face. There we go. Hey, there you are.
Oh my gosh, so cute. That look. Wow.
Oh, don't do that. She wants more of my attention, and she knows I'm giving attention to these two. I gotta keep them from getting at each other.
Mm. Oh my
You let me
shit.
pet. Oh, okay. Pet the side of the face. I can do that. Pretty bird.
Oh,
I heard a
Pretty
pretty
Bird has come over too.
Oh, hi, pretty bird.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Haven't seen Pretty Bird yet.
It's all right. I don't have to pet you all the time. How are you doing?
Mm. Lovely birds.
You need to get back on. No, no, no. You-hoo. Calm down. She's just sitting here. It's all right. Hi, KK.
Okay.
KK, I'm gonna move my leg. If I leave it there much longer, it's gonna be stuck in that position forever. There you go. You two are not gonna fight. No, you're not. I can tell by how much pressure he puts on my thumb when he's nibbling on it, how aggressive he's becoming over her being this close. So if I can start to feel it, it just starts to hurt a little bit, then I know he's not happy about her being so close. Yes, that's kind of a thermometer. All right, calm down. Calm down. She's going somewhere else. You be calm. It's all right. It's all right. I know. I know she gets a little bit aggressive sometimes. Tries to take over my lap. I know. Pip, pip, pip.
Pip, 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 pip.
I know, sugar. Right now, I'm kind of got my attention caught up down here. Pippa? Pippa's on
She
my
looks
shoulder.
so cute.
Shoulder pip.
Yeah, everybody
Oh,
wants
Pippa.
attention.
Hello, Lucy.
Oh, now Lucy has come over too. Oh my. Pretty bird.
Pretty
Sugar,
good.
I'm sorry, but I got to keep these two from getting into it. No, you're not coming down any farther. Stay on my shoulder. Come on, you can do that. You can stay on my shoulder. Well, I see where time's up, so I am going to see you all, I hope, soon. And
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Eleanor and Amy and Aaron, for your help moderating.
And thank you, Don, for the live stream.
Yeah, thanks for getting all the birds together out in the aviary and having us all out.
Come on, little girl. Up there.
Good girl. Thanks, extended flock family, as well, for joining us, as always.